What's up, guys? I took a store which was really capping out at $1,000 a day to over $7,000 a day. And honestly, there's a bunch of things in ecom that work only once. This is what no one will really tell you about because you just get lucky. Even if you feel like you're doing everything right and you're putting in so much work because you get married to a product, probably get lucky the first 5 winners that you have, okay? And so if you don't launch a brand, if you don't transition into a brand, in fact, if you can't actually get consistent flow of winning ads into the ad account, it probably was all just luck or some ripped ads. But I figured out what actually works consistently. For example, for this brand owner, we got him to consistent $10,000 days, right? And a bunch of other cool case studies. Now, the point of me making this video is because I want to give you guys on a silver platter all of the top 3 things that I found that work consistently. These things work again and again and again. And in fact, these things are needed. These things are needed to scale to really disgustingly high numbers that you couldn't fathom that you wanted, but you will want them and you will want to scale even further. It's never enough. Us humans have never enough. But keep in mind, this is really just there to give you guys every piece of information so that you can go ahead and say that you're lacking any info or strategies, okay? And the first thing I'm going to talk about is MRR Compound. Second thing is systems and hiring A players and A player recruiting specifically. And then third is obviously the creative diversity. These are 3 things that will make everything in your business better. They will make running paid ads 100 times easier, right? They will make your metrics better, reduce your CAC, increase your LTV and your lifetime profit, and ultimately increase your overall enterprise value of your brand. So you can just pump stores and then sell them if you want to, okay? And you can repeat that cycle again and again and again. And the very first thing that I've written down here is the MRR Compound. Now, what does MRR stand for? MRR is the monthly recurring revenue, okay? Monthly recurring revenue stands for people that get charged again automatically after buying once, meaning a subscription offer. And this is actually something which is probably the most powerful thing ever in ecom. And there's still barely anyone really talking about it, in fact, doing it in the first place. No one. However, if you look at the numbers, you'll be amazed how low the e-commerce churn is. If you look at like a high churn industry, let's say we make it like women's supplements, then obviously, for example, you have like your 10-20% churn on average. If you look at something like pet supplements, you can get below 5% in terms of churn in ecom, right? These are software company levels of numbers of churn, meaning people that subscribe, they actually stay, and it doesn't matter. You can have super high average order values on your store. It's really just going to come down how much value you provide, taking around 10-20% of that value, charging it, and you can charge that every single month, and people won't leave. Even if you, for example, sell them 3 times than what they actually need a month and then subscribe to it monthly, I would always have this mental block of, okay, they're going to be pissed off, they're going to churn out of the subscription, they're not going to stay and keep paying, but they do. They never leave. And in fact, they always just figure out, and you do attract higher quality customers with that as well. And so there's absolutely nothing against really charging as much as possible, first of all, but second of all, trying to push as many people as possible on a subscription offer, right? That is really what's going to push everything when it comes to enterprise value, also your profitability and your margins, right? Because imagine this, right? Let's say you're scaling to around $1,000 a day. Let's say your new customer acquisition, for some reason, you're not that good at marketing and you don't have anyone else doing it for you, and you have so much to take care of, right? You have barely any time. Okay, cool. Let's imagine your new customer acquisition caps out at, what is that, like 20-30 orders a day, meaning around 1K days. Cool. Now, imagine this, right? Let's round down the churn to 0% for a second. If you make $30,000 in month 1, and yes, we would be living in a world where churn was 0%, but it is almost 0%, then month 2 is $60,000, and month 3 is $90,000, and month 4 is $120,000, and it keeps going up like this without you touching the budgets on your ad account. All you got to do is maintain the creative hit rates and volume that you've done so far, and literally compound and get up the monthly revenue of your business by $30,000. And of course, there's going to be churn and there's going to be all these issues, but But realistically, why should you cap out at 1K days? Okay. And in fact, let's turn it around. If you know how high your margins are because you have your data on the average LTV, let's say the average LTV, or let's say your average margins over a, entire customer journey are around $150. If it's $150, you can spend $145 on a customer and still make $5 of profit from that customer. And you really don't have to be a genius to get e-commerce customers, new customers for $145. In fact, you can. Maybe that's going to be a super, super high scale and you're going to spend a shit ton of money on ads, but it is definitely possible. And so you have a lot of ways of approaching this, but obviously you're just going to make money if some part of your offer is consumable and people actually take a subscription offer and you push them as hard as possible on your subscription offer. And then the next thing obviously is that if you are a drop shipper and your leverage right now is being able to pick what your product is that you sell, then obviously sell something which is consumable or something that makes sense to sell in a consumable bundle. Some part about your offer should be consumable. If you don't have anything consumable about your business overall, you're not going to make money. In fact, what's going to happen is every single month you're going to start from zero, and there's going to be businesses, your competitors that don't, meaning they're going to sell for higher numbers, they're going to outcompete you, spend more money than you because they can, not because they're genius marketers. Maybe they are, maybe you are, but you're just capping yourself out so early on if you don't have MRR. And the compound word really just is there to showcase this is an exponential effect, because if you do not even want to scale further than 1K days, right, and you would have super, super low churn, let's say, pet supplements, for example, as like a very, very low churn industry, then imagine this, like you literally increase the monthly revenue by 30K every single month without scaling anything. Right? And that is just going to make you more and more and more money, right? If you just maintain the new customer scale, what's going to happen over a long period of time, let's say a year of running that brand, you're going to be able to sell that brand for a 3 to 5x of yearly profit. Obviously, you're going to be ridiculously profitable, because if you're already profitable on the first new customer acquisition, they're going to be ridiculously profitable. And then if people see you have so many people in the subscription, people don't churn out, that is what investors are looking for. So if you think longer term than just 1 to 2 months and trying to hit your first, 10K profit month, and actually feel like, okay, how do I sell my store, my business for a very, very large sum amount of money, then obviously this is really what gets you there. Okay. Now, second thing, which actually gets stores to scale to disgustingly, ridiculously high numbers, is the right systems and the right A-player recruiting. Okay. And this is something which no one else, once again, really talks about for some reason, but it is so unbelievably important to have SOPs in place. An SOP is nothing else but a standard operating procedure, and all it stands for is just documents or videos or onboarding essentially for new people or yourself to follow a specific process again and again consistently, to learn from your own mistakes and to never ask yourself, what's next? What do I do next? Okay, no one has them. Nobody has SOPs. No one has a solid, proper creative workflow tracking sheet. Most of you guys watching this video aren't even tracking your creatives probably. And it's just ridiculous, because if you look at how the biggest brands are doing it, like they have the craziest systems in place. And once again, they aren't geniuses, but if you do everything yourself, if you are build, deliver, and advertise in your business, which are all three areas in an entire business, if you right now are the founder, do everything, and you don't even have systems in place and SOPs in place, then how do you even plan on how outcompeting people? It's not like 2016 anymore where you just upload any Facebook ad and it works. Of course, you shouldn't ask yourself, why do you not make money yet? All you should ask yourself is, okay, how can I increase the quality of my work, the leverage of my work? And then obviously, when you do get to a decent scale, when you do get to a decent quality and income level, you will realize that your time is wasted on a lot of very low leverage tasks. And so we're starting on, the production. So it could be videography and photography. As a dropshipper, you're probably not going to do that in the first place. But we have also, the media buying, so uploading and scaling and touching budgets. We have the editing. We have the graphic design. We have customer support. All of these things you can hire people into. Yeah, I know it's a crazy thing, but my first hire, I know, I mean, you know that you can hire people, but you actually don't really know how it feels like, how it looks like until you make that first hire. And when you do make that first hire, your life will change, because the first time that you actually see, oh damn, I got creatives done without even focusing. I didn't even think about the creatives, and they're already like in that folder, maybe even in the ad account. You didn't have to touch anything. It's the craziest feeling ever, because you realized there was more to it than just, oh yeah, go to Calidata and download the top 3 ads, the top 3 best converting. It's just bullshit. It's just not what ecom or running a business is about. I want main focus of this video. I want you to go out of this video and not treat ecom like a side hustle anymore, because e-commerce is a actual business. It's an actual business. And it's crazy that I even have to say this, but most guys that watch these types of videos like this, with this title that you clicked on, actually are not really aware of this. But you're running a business, and you can use every unfair advantage that you have. So if you already start with this into this business model with a little bit of capital, which you probably should if you're running paid ads, then maybe it might make sense to already have someone, maybe a co-founder, multiple partners, co-founders, who all have skill sets or qualities that the others don't have. One of you guys has money, other one of you guys has time, other one of you guys has a team, network, all of these things. If you partner up, it's leverage. It's more than just double the leverage, actually 10 times, 100 times the leverage. That's how you outcompete all the beginners. That's how you beat competitors. You don't have to be the best at everything. You have to get good at a couple really important things, and then for the rest, you get other people to do it for you, okay? And once again, if you have $0 in your bank account, you shouldn't be even thinking about running paid ads in the first place. You maybe consider working for brands or with brands, freelancer, or actually getting hired by them or whatever, just to make money first and then start your own project once you already have experience, skills, and money, and probably more time at that point, okay? And the third thing I'm going to talk about is the creative diversity inside of your ad account. So most people don't understand and get wrong at this stage is that creative diversity is, first of all, they've never heard of it. Second of all, the people that do have heard of it don't have it, don't implement it, or just don't know what it actually is. And so creative diversity is something which people like to throw around the word whenever CPMs are inflated, right? Whenever people say, oh, you have like $100 CPMs or $200 or even higher than that, people like to say, okay, just make other ad concepts or other ad styles, right? But they don't know why. The reason why different styles of types or concepts of creatives get your CPMs lower is because you're hitting different audiences. And the reason why you're getting high CPMs in the first place is because you're targeting the wrong audiences and you're speaking to them or you're speaking to them in the wrong way. You have to imagine one thing. Imagine you're speaking, back to the pet supplements example, you're speaking to every pet owner, okay? Every pet owner, but basically if you only showcase image ads that are offer focused. Let's say that's all you do. But I tested 50 creatives, but if they all were offer focused image ads with just different designs, you only hit from this entire pet market just this small fraction of it, right? That was that aware and that was, positively reacting to offer focused image ads. And all these other people in the market were actually reacting usually to different styles of things. And creative diversity does not only get your CPMs lower, right? Because you get more stuff into the ad account and Facebook's actually able to convert, to find different audiences, to tap into different pockets, meaning your pixel learns at a significantly faster pace. That's where your CPMs go down, by the way. But also, it's the best way to scale, because a lot of people like to say, oh my God, my ads don't scale. But the problem is you just need to find a similar pocket like this in the same market and scale that to the same scale. And that's how a lot of brands scale. A lot of brands have $100,000 a month in revenue, but then 20K fractions each, for example, for each ad concept or for each angle. And this is what you have to understand. You don't scale one ad. I mean, you can, for sure you can. But if you actually want to do this long term, you have multiple concepts and multiple angles running at the same time, and actually bringing in this creative diversity into your account to be able, so that you are able in the long run to scale to really high numbers. And that was pretty much it for this video, guys. I want to say thank you. Honestly, thank you for giving me your most important asset, which was your attention. I'm gonna stop yapping for now. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, brutally honest, very in depth. Maybe if you want to see me do some stuff live, or if you want me to show some stuff in reality, go ahead and write your main takeaway into the comments below. Once again, thank you for watching. I wish you a beautiful day.